This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
And I'm JP.
And we are back 1 week in a row.
Yes.
Man, we are the, poster children of consistency this week.
This week. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Maybe we can make it 2 in a row.
I know. And then they have to put us in a dictionary or something, right?
Yeah.
It was a fly. I swear it was like a little fly.
I did not see it.
So speaking of, what just happened was a little gnat flew in front of me and I followed it with my head. Have you ever been walking or sitting in a park or just spectating people and you see somebody walk through a spider web?
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it one of the most amazing things in the world?
It's pretty funny
to watch them just freak out.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't know what's happening, but all you do is see flailing arms and then the grabbing at something at their body, and you're like, I know what you did, but it doesn't. I can relate.
Oh, absolutely.
It's either that or being chased by a bee or something like that. You know, some random thing where they're freaking out and hiding behind someone else or something like that. Mm-hmm. I love watching people. It's so fun. Not in a weird way. Just so you know. Although, there was a text this morning. So, we ran out of huevos. We didn't run out of eggs, but we were getting close. We would have ran out today. Okay. And I call a friend of mine that owns another place. And I said, hey, can I borrow a case or two of eggs for this weekend? I'll get them back to you tomorrow. And nothing. And about an hour later, he responds back. He goes, hey, sorry, I was in the shower. And I go, aw, you're such a tease. And he goes, yeah, you missed out. And then the next thing I get is a GIF of a guy looking through shades, blinds at a window. I was like,
oh, man.
Yeah, it was kind of creepy. Sorry,
weird
I said
neighbor.
That. Yeah.
I mean, not neighbor, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the peeping Tom. So,
yeah.
So we'll talk a little USWDGC. We'll talk a little Majestic. And we're going to talk about trophies.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk.
Oh, man.
So with that, door_disc_golf, night_owl_pod, and then doordisc.com, where you can get all your disc golf needs. Where do you want to start? The trophy. Trophy. That's how you pronounce that. Trophy. That's how you pronounce it. Well, where do you want to start?
Whatever.
Right at the tip?
No. Maybe we should just talk about the tournament first and then get to the trophy.
Oh, and then you want to get to okay.
Yeah.
All right. So USWDGC happened in our backyard.
It did.
And neither of us went.
Sadly, didn't get a chance to get there.
I drove by and went, look, there's a disc golf championship going on there, and then kept going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we were down in Milwaukee for a tournament, softball tournament.
Oh,
for my daughter. So
got it.
And I was like, hey, you want to stop? And she's like, nope. And I was like, okay. We just kept driving. Yeah, it was, I wanted to, but it was also right in the rain. It was all those things were just adding up. So we just didn't end up stopping. But Door Disc was there and represented by Matt Yadis and the team. And it was awesome. And I was wrong last week when I said that we were going to be the only disc golf retailer there. Not true.
I texted Matt. I was like, hey, how's the vending going? He's like, there's a lot of people here.
There's a ton. Yeah. And we were not the exclusive dealers of the discs.
Oh.
No. So it is what it is. I think just miscommunication, maybe. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what happened or how that went down. But
got it.
We weren't. So I was wrong on both accounts. But we were there. So I was right on that one.
Well, who's it? Is it Dustin from Pastry Dye? Dylan.
Yep.
Yep, my bad. Dylan.
And I got a comment from him. Speaking of, I got to pay him. I swear I'll pay you, Dylan. Promise.
Okay. Yeah, he had a video and he was just kind of showing the parking lot of Vendor Village and where the Fly Mart was and everything. Mm-hmm. And it was Sun Kings, Latitude had the big tour series bus situation going on, and I was just Oh, wow. There's a lot of people there.
Yeah. There's not much. I mean, we did okay. Like, but it's hard to compete with that size of retailers.
And then you actually have the actual players vending as well with their discs. And
yeah, that's a comment. So we have been, from Pastry Dyes, we have been doubles partners 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, hey, you got any comments? And he goes, people don't throw those.
Matt Yates does.
Yeah, exactly. At least for another year, or 6 months. And I was like, wait, no. Yeah, people do. And I goes like, anytime you find a comment, just especially, and then I told him the ones. So I get a text from Matt, and he goes, hey, he made this just for you, and you're not even here to receive it. And I was like, who? Was there supposed to be a picture? What did I get? I'm intrigued now. And then all of a sudden I see the picture with the comment, him hollering. I was like, oh, how much? And tell him I'll send him the money. So hopefully he picked it up for me.
Well, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, it was really neat. So I've had one Pastry Dyes comment before. I believe I still have it, but it's one that I lost it. But it was one that I kind of tucked away for a little while.
Sure.
It was a little flippier. But this one is of a plastic that I think I'm going to really like, but we'll find out. So, and I got to throw it too. So
yeah,
I got to actually go play to do that thing. So, but yeah, so that's a good thing that came out of it. Pastry Dyes was there, and I got a comment.
Yeah, that is
without
a good
even
thing.
being there.
Yeah,
so get to add it to my collection. And I should get an update from Matt to see if he's still throwing the comment. He should. He needs to. I just want to know how he's doing with it.
It'd be funny if all of a sudden you just liked it. And he's like, yeah, it's a good disc. I'll keep it in the back now.
It's pretty nice. I like it. So, I don't know. I think that was it. But there was a lot of rain. We had a little damage to some tents, things like that.
Yeah. I mean, round one, towards the end of the round, they had the weather delay, and then it delayed the beginning of round two going to the next morning. And then we actually up here had a crazy storm Friday night.
Crazy.
Like, I couldn't believe how 3:30 in the morning just woke up like, what?
And there was not a soul in sight.
Yeah.
The city was looking like a ghost town. Are you smelling what I'm stepping in yet?
No.
The Garth Brooks song, Thunder Rolls?
I don't listen to Garth Brooks.
It starts off with 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a soul in sight. When do we get copyrighted for singing? Pretty close.
Yeah. Especially you get 15 seconds or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well,
but yeah. So I think what I had heard is some places had quarter size hail. Some people reported perhaps tennis ball size hail.
Cheapers, creepers.
That's what I've heard.
That's like window breaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that up here?
No, I think further south.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then heavy wind. And then my dad stopped over yesterday and he's like, oh, yeah, we got an inch and a quarter of rain or something like that. In that, I was like, really? Because normally when that happens, our backyard will flood a little bit. Not the case. I was like, oh, well, surprised me.
Well, that's funny because we're up on a hill.
Yeah.
Like where my house is. Down at the bottom of the driveway, if you pay attention when you walk, there is so much crap across our driveway and on both sides because it flooded about 2 feet. It did one of those got real high and then went down. But even in the morning when I came up, there was still probably 2 or 3 inches.
Okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And one morning was about 5:45-ish when I drove down there. And there was still about 2 inches covering my driveway.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's nuts. And we're, like I said, we're kind of in a high spot.
Yeah.
But it was all running down the road there, downhill. So
with the weather that we had, I was really curious because the first 2 rounds of the tournament were at Roland Ridge, and it notoriously floods when there's a lot of rain.
Yes.
So I was curious, round 2, I mean, they held it off, delayed the start and everything. So I was curious how it would play because it's big marsh, a lot of water. Played it with a lot of water.
I usually have muck boots in my truck when I go there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's how wet it is.
I mean,
sometimes.
there's, some bridges to go across and things.
But they do a great job managing what's there. And giving you an opportunity to get around it.
Right. And then, but, well, hole one, they have the casual relief, like by right before the basket, it's marked off. I actually had a disc go under the bridge one time. Luckily, there wasn't any water in it at the time, or maybe just a little bit. But I was like, hey,
Yeah.
kind of stuck here, and I don't remember what tournament it was, but they're like, yeah, it's casual. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, I think that was the one we played. Well, you were in it as well. That we all went. It was like you, me, Jordan.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like three of us.
I mean, that was Bjorn.
Bjorn. Yeah, I think he was there too.
But yeah, that was a couple years ago.
Oh,
easily.
Easily. I think it was pre-20.
That could be.
I think it was.
Yeah, I mean,
because I remember I played black to black, and I remember being just like right on the lip of the bridge, and I was super excited, like right at the, I was like, man, I've never thrown a shot like that before, and then proceeded to 3-putt probably.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure like what layout. Well, I mean, so hole 3, like the what is it called? It's like the deck.
Yeah.
And everything. That's orange, right? Orange. They played orange to orange that hole.
They played orange to orange on that one. Yep.
Yeah. Because every hole has 3 pin locations, 3
No,
T-pads.
they played black to orange.
Black to orange. Okay.
Because black to black is the big. It's like the 1,100 foot. That's the one where you play all the way up and over the hill to the mouth of the woods almost.
They did play that.
Oh, then they played
it was
the
like
big one.
1,000 some feet.
Then that's black to black.
That's black to black. Okay.
Yeah, that's black to black.
I thought orange for some reason was the furthest back, but
No,
it's black.
Yeah.
Black is. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure.
Okay.
Yeah, orange is the shortest, and then red.
Red. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So-
I forget all the.
It's been a
color
while since I've been
variations.
there, actually.
But if you go there and you play, I mean, the tee boxes that they played with from were fairly decent, like as far as like having gaps to hit and everything. You go there and play some of those shorter tee pads, and it's like the gaps are 2-3 feet wide,
for sure.
directly off the tee pad.
Yep.
You're hitting first to bail. I mean, there's trees with no bark on them,
Yep.
like whittled
Yep.
down. It's just
That is
crazy.
a feast or is a feast or famine course. I just lost my headphones. That is a completely a feast or famine course for me. Every time I play it, I end up being like, there's times where my ratings just thrive from that course.
Yeah.
But almost every other time, they just eat me alive. I'm usually like 40 or 50 points below my rating on that course. But we play the different layouts. Like black to black, I usually do pretty decent on.
Okay.
But I honestly think the shortest layout, which I believe is orange to orange, is some of the hardest layouts, because you get those short tee pads where they kind of just shoehorn a tee pad in there. You know, they're like, oh, we can put one here. And sometimes they don't make the best layout. Some of the holes are fine, but there's some holes where you get to them and you're like, this is not a shot. Like can we start over here, please? You know? But from what I saw that the FBO played, it was awesome. Like, I think most of it was black to black. Most of it that I saw. They might have done some variations of it, and I haven't actually been there in probably 2 years. So they may have changed it, because he's always working on something there. You know?
Right.
But it looked beautiful. Like, it was green and lush, and like it looked great.
It did. And I was kind of wondering how it would video. You know, I mean, it's not Northwoods black, but it gets pretty dense in there.
But they
know,
have cell phone coverage there,
right?
which is good.
Which is good.
Northwoods does not.
No.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just, spectator wise, like how it would with people being people and some of those fairways and
some of the swampiness. And some,
I mean, there's some interesting things going on at that course that they managed.
Because I want to say it was like 3, 5, 7, 11, hole 11. That's the one where you kind of come back down the hill. So it's just to the left of the
Clubhouse, right?
No,
I was thinking the one that's
like
downhill.
the tiers.
Oh yeah,
Where you throw into the tiers. There's the hole that like kind of plays up past the basket, but back towards the tee pads of that hole.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That hole has always been just like, that's a hard hole. I want to say it's 11 or 12. maybe it's even sooner than that. Maybe it's like 7.
It might be 7.
Because, yeah, you make the loop, you throw from the bridge. Mm-hmm. That's the one. So it's the hole right before when you throw from the bridge.
Yeah. It's the one that the basket's up on. It's like terraced or whatever, tiered out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's 7.
The one to the left of that is hard. I can never get that one for some reason. But, yeah. But all in all, I mean, like I said, the coverage looked good. I didn't watch as much as I wanted to because life.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Life. We're busy. But I did get to watch, obviously, some of the recaps and everything, and I didn't get to watch anything today. All I did was saw who won and saw the wonderful trophy that they got today. So, anything to go over?
Well, Evelina had a sweet ace.
Oh, okay.
Hold on a second. First round, I think it's hole 16. Yep, hole 16, slightly uphill, par 3.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, she threw it in on coverage.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Got taped. Yeah, and then
15, 16. Yep, 16. It's kind of just up the hill, just over the. No, that's 18, 17. Oh, okay. All right. I like walking it back. In my mind.
Right. Yeah. And then, I don't know. So like Evelina, and then first shot, second round. She hit first available.
Oh, of course.
Of course. Made up that.
Yep.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah. And you hit first available at the Ridge, and man, you are in trouble. It is hard to scramble at the Ridge.
Well, it is. And a lot of people from watching Joe Mez, I didn't watch any of the DGN. Like, there are some people that definitely got in trouble right away on, and couldn't really make it up,
Right. Yeah. And that is a course that if it's inclement weather, like it is hard to play as it is. Mm-hmm. You add any other external circumstances to it that make it a little bit harder. Man, it is so hard to stay on track there. So hard to stay. Because I played there in snow. I played there in rain. I played in all sorts of conditions. And it is just hard. It's just hard in general. Like even on a beautiful, lovely, like 60 degrees, mild wind, like it's still hard. Like still hard. But that is a course I have one of my favorite shots ever in the world there. It was on hole 2 where you throw over the pond.
Yep.
We were playing like black to, I believe it's orange. It's the one that's right on the edge of the pond.
Yeah.
So you don't go up the hill. You just stay right on the edge of the pond. And we're playing, so throwing across, and I rifle it across, and I'm probably 35 feet past it, putting back towards the pond. Mm-hmm. And it was just a raging headwind from where I was putting from. And it was my number 2, and I was like, I'm just going to throw it at the base. I threw it directly at the lock, like just kind of like step putted it directly at the lock.
And it lifted?
It lifted. Dead center chains. and I was like, it was a great putt, man. I was like, I didn't mean to do that. Like I was meant to hit the ground like 5 feet and let it, because it kind of sits on a little hill too. So I was like, I was just throwing it at the front of the hill, like hoping it'd hit and just roll up to the lock. Nope. Yeah. Dead center chains just lifted. And
well, a lot of women ended up throwing immediately off hole 2 right into there's that like little marshy area off to the left. Mm-hmm. A lot of people went into that right off.
Really?
Yeah. Like Missy Gannon struggled pretty mightily at the Ridge. It was her, Paige.
Yeah.
Who else was on Joe Mez cover?
Because what is that? Probably about a 280 to 300 foot carry across the water.
Okay. About that. Kristen actually like ended up throwing, like 350. Like she made that hole look pretty easy, actually. Yeah. But, like, the other 3 players on the card is her, Paige, Gannon. Who's the 4th one? Scylla.
Yeah.
Yep. That's who it was. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because I think a lot of people, what happens there is it's a good carry. I mean, you got to carry 300. And it's flat. You're not throwing uphill or anything like that. It's pretty flat, like, to get across the pond.
Yeah, right.
And I think what people do is because there's so much water on the right-hand side is they stable up. And then what happens is that pond, as you finish, that pond kind of comes flat across. So it actually gets a little further out on the left-hand side. Mm-hmm. So if you throw something super stable and it hooks up I mean, the likelihood is you're going to be in that water. And there's also bushes and trees right there that grab those things.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. And I know it's like playing it safe, and especially with where the pin was located. But like, man, it's almost safer to just throw something straight as hard as you can and let it fly out, because you got a lot of error on the right-hand side. Like, you got a lot of room for error on the right-hand side. As long as it doesn't completely flip over, like, you're going to make it on the land.
Right.
So, but you got to have that 300-foot carry, you know. So, all right. Yeah. But I just love this course. And I think I love the courses just simply because they're in our backyard.
Well, right.
You know,
I mean, we went to, same thing, like, when did we go play Silver Creek? Like, there was one after, because we went down to Green Bay to go to Home Depot or whatever. We were picking something up, and we're like, let's just go play Silver Creek.
Right, yeah.
And then we hit on the way, and then we hit back.
What did we do? What were we doing?
I don't know. We just wanted to go play. And we're like, let's go to Silver Creek.
Yeah. That was it. Because, I mean, it's from Green Bay, so it's about an hour and a half to Green Bay. Well, hour and 15 minutes to Green Bay. And then it's only like another, 25 minutes from there? Maybe 30 at most.
Right.
So we're like, let's just go. We would play. Was that where we met? Didn't we play with an FBO player there? Didn't we end up playing with like Patrick? And then she was a DD. She may still be a DD sponsored.
Sarah Gilpin?
Yeah, Gilpin.
I don't think I was there. I think you did that one time, but
okay.
This was a
maybe it was just me that played.
Maybe.
Then, because
I remember we did play. I think we did play Super Silver.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Because I remember my shoulder was killing me.
Uh-huh.
I do remember that part. Because I remember we got from throwing off the top of the hill, and I was like, man, I really want to make it across, but I didn't have any power at that time.
Yeah.
And I kept landing right on the front of that mound. So, but yeah, they're just great holes. And just great courses. And that course, so what you see on coverage, I believe, is a Super Silver layout. Mm-hmm. There is, a total of 30...
God, how many holes are
I know for sure there's 27.
Yeah.
But I think there's 36.
I think there is as well.
So there's a 18 lakeside, and I believe there's an 18 traditional or 18.
Yeah.
But it's like 18 is more of a shorter, like in the woods. Mm-hmm. And then there's the 18 lakeside, which is kind of more, it's a better, more tournament friendly layout. It has some meadows, plays over by the lakeside.
Yeah.
And then they have the Super Silver, where it's a combination of all, and then they make a really nice course, but they also have a 27-hole layout. They have so many different layouts there. It's a good course. Silver Creek is. So
I think a lot of people got. Well, who was it? Someone commented that they threw the lighthouse hole. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So somebody said they had like a 2-foot putt or something, and like hit it dead center chains, and the wind like pushed it back. Yeah. And somebody threw into the water on that hole.
Did they change the basket for that? Because that's I know it's a custom basket. It's one of those like Stinger baskets or whatever.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe they did for the tournament.
I feel like they should have.
Right.
But it's a garbage bat. Like, it's a really cool basket, but it doesn't catch well.
No.
The one that's there normally. And it's a custom basket. It's really cool. Like, really, really neat. But it doesn't catch well.
No.
It doesn't catch well. Although I do have to say, I do have a 2 on that hole. So
dang, okay.
I got lucky, went early left, and got through. There's a couple like sneaky lines that shouldn't be there, but they are. Snuck through, and I ended up about 35 feet out and hit it. So with witnesses, just so you know, with witnesses.
I usually have to take a 3. I usually try it like with my being left-handed. I just try to play straight.
Yeah.
And then just throw down the hill, try to get as close as possible, and then...
Yeah. The only way you could really give yourself a look is roller. And that's a tough roller.
I mean, I have seen some people go early left a little bit. Like, you could kind of sneak through some of that woods on the left, but it's not very favorable.
No, it's not.
Not at all.
That is a very precise shot. And like I said, that's how I got my 2, was just sawed it off and ended up left, But it's a fun hole. More often than not, I end up in the right hand, like on the side of the hill on the right hand, because I try to throw it hard and put it straight down, and I pull it to the left or pull it to the right, and that's that. But I love that. I love that course. It's a great course. So, all right. You ready to talk winner and trophy?
Sure.
Okay. Winner chicken dinner is Evelina Salonen.
Comeback.
Comeback.
Victory.
Yeah. So, fun fact, little 24 missed C1X putts from the lead card. And Evelina was 10 for 20.
Yeah, 10 for 20.
10 for 20 and still pulled out the win.
Right. And then Haley was, what did I see? 7 of 14. So that's 17 right there.
Yeah.
And then Emily missed 3 and then Henna missed 4.
Yeah.
For round 3.
Right.
That's just crazy.
So these girls are averaging 500. In baseball, that's awesome. Disc golf,
Yeah.
not so awesome.
but here's the crazy thing. Because, okay, 20 C1X putts, that means you're missing multiple C1X
Yes,
putts.
exactly.
Like, that's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. There's probably some holes, wind, whatever. But, oh, God.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think we've said it before. I'll say it over and over and over and over again. The thing that is going to separate make people great in the FPO is putts.
It is, yeah.
I mean, you got to get there, of course.
yeah.
But all these girls can get there, as you can see. All these ladies can get there, as you can see. But man, once you get there, like, you think if you went 20 C1X putts, if you take that in half,
Yeah.
you have absolutely dominated the course. Let's say take 5 of those putts away, you're still 6 up on the competition.
Right.
That's crazy.
Well, because round 3. Okay, let's look at Kristen. Kristen had 5 of 7. 7's pretty low, I would say. I mean, she had 5.
So she didn't give herself opportunities.
Right.
Right.
But I mean, if you look at that, it's like, okay.
Right. And let's be clear, C1X is 15 feet and in or 10 feet and in?
Isn't it 15? I think it's 15.
15 and in. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's 15 and in. And 15 feet, folks, get out there and drill it. There should be no reason you should ever miss a 15
I
footer.
know. Because when you think about it, you step up to a 15 feet. It's really not as far. I mean, it sounds far, but it's
Right.
really not.
No, it's not. It's not.
Because I think about it all the time, listening to In the Bag.
Whoops, that was me.
It might
Was
have been
that
me
you
as well.
too?
I don't know. But they're like, well, how many can you drill from 15 feet? And people are like, well, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Yeah, you should be hitting 9 out of 10, 10 out of
should.
10 from that
You should.
distance.
And
The only time I get scared when it's dead, headwind. But other than that, I'm pretty confident.
and let's be real, we've never played for hundreds of dollars per putt.
Right.
So we don't know that stress.
No.
But it's still 15 feet. Drill that. This is what you do for a living. If you're not 100 putts a day at 15 feet or even 50 putts a day at 15 feet, all different angles, on your knee, just goofy putts, but 50 of them a day, man, I know it's hard, but that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
I would just love to ask Evelina, when you're stepping up, what are you thinking about? Because the mental game to not be able to hit a putt like that, it's what's just going through your mind? Is it blank? Are you blanking out? Are you just focusing too much that you're stressing out? Is that what it?
It could be.
Yeah.
But you think about it. So we talk golf, softball will be very relevant in my life, softball. So you think about these girls in softball, especially some of these travel teams and stuff. Some of these girls are monsters at the plate.
True. Yeah,
and other girls just freeze, right? And you wonder, hey, what are you doing? And some of the biggest things that they're coaching right now is confidence. Be it, hit it. Be it, see it, hit it. So it's just you walk up and I'm a good hitter. I'm going to make contact. I'm going to get on first. And that's all you do. Just run through the confidence of I'm a good hitter. I'm going to make contact. I'm going to get on first. I'm a good hitter. I'm going to make contact. I'm going to get on first. And that's it, and it's see it, hit it, run. And I wonder if it is something, it's a mental game that disc golf has not, or it hasn't caught up to disc golf yet, like that mental preparedness. Because I even think about when I was playing, that was a lot of what we did in college was the mental preparation, like video time, scout time, like all that stuff. It was mental preparation. But also in the weight room, that's mental preparation as well, because you're showing yourself that you can do these things.
Yeah.
And it's a confidence thing. But we also had separate, like, sports psychologists that came in and just chatted with us. Like, look, man, the only thing that's limiting you is you. Like, that's it. And they would go over all this stuff. So I wonder if that is something that is not present in disc golf. Actually, I know it's not present in disc golf, except for a few people that are, like, you know, crazy about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But you look at a lot of reasons why people stop playing too. It's because it's tough on their mind emotionally.
Sure. Well, yeah, because what we see now for coaching wise, a lot of is, okay, how can I work on my form? Mm-hmm. How can I gain distance? It's a lot of those things. It's not
it's
so
mechanical.
much. Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I mean, disc golf needs a Tony Robbins or someone like that, you know.
Exactly. I mean, you think about, like, Tiger Woods had a swing coach. Like, sure, that's mechanics, but a lot of that too is it's all sports psychology, like getting into your mind. Why are you, like, we'll go back to Charles Barkley in golf. Like, his swing, his, like, hitch in his swing was crazy.
Yeah.
And he still has kind of a little kitch in it, I guess, but he had, like, years of sports psychology and training and relearning and remapping his brain and doing all that stuff, because he just got into a slump and he somehow had this hitch in his swing. And it's crazy how your mind is that powerful, that it can do stuff like that. Like, these are things you do every single day, throw a disc. But then you step up. I mean, it was Jennifer Allen. I don't know if you remember hers.
Yes. Yeah.
That was bad. She got through it.
Because she had to turbo putt for quite a while.
Yeah. And even at points, there was one where she won still by never putting. She threw it at the base of the basket and then went and dropped it in. Yes. And she still won a tournament doing that. It was the Arizona State Championship or something like that. She won that
something
way.
like that.
You know, so it's like the mind is a powerful thing. So I wonder with Evelina, like, man, you clean that up, make that crisper, like, and have that confidence stepping over that putt and be like, I'm going to make it. See the chains, hit the chains, you know, walk away. I don't know. I wonder if that's the next big thing, is having a coach in there and having someone like, you know, you had the disc golf fitness guy. What was his name? Seth Muncie.
Yeah.
You have Seth Muncie, like, helping the body.
Yeah.
But who's in there helping the mind?
Right. Well, Seth's part of the DGPT now, safety coordinator and whatever.
Yeah, and at every DGPT he has a tent set up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But do they have anybody for the mind?
I don't know.
Dude,
hypnosis maybe or something of that nature.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Instead of having, like, parties and block parties, just have a hypnotist come in. And all the disc golfers there, they'll, like, hypnotize you. You will be a good putter, you know?
Right.
You won't miss. Like, I wonder.
Oh my gosh, the DDO block party, you know, at, like, the theater or whatever. They need to. Yeah.
I said, when I snap my fingers, you'll cluck like a chicken and never miss a putt. Right?
Yeah.
That'd be entertaining.
That would be.
That would be a way to get some views. Like, we have this little niche sport that all these people are, like, barking like dogs and acting like monkeys, but hitting putts from, like, 80 feet away.
Just right before they release.
Yeah, exactly. Clucking like a chicken.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that'd be a good way.
But I mean, so I mean, we're kind of making fun of Evelina because we've done this before.
Yeah.
But she was consistent enough to be up there the whole tournament, and, you know, going into the final round, she was only 2 shots back, and then, you know, Haley King was up there for a little bit, and she overtook Haley. Haley fell off. Emily Motherman fell off. Henna definitely fell off today. Unfortunately for her, we were kind of joking, like, Henna pulled a Blommoose, is that what we said or whatever before? Unfortunately for her. But, I mean, Evelyn had a solid 5 under. I mean, she just stayed par for the course. She was, you know, never wavered. And then, there's a lot of people like that this weekend, though. that were just kind of on chase card, like Cadence Burge today. You know, she was six back. If I forgot how it went, she was in the clubhouse. Evelina was coming up to 17. I mean, there's a potential that there could have been a playoff if Evelina didn't end up parring the last hole.
Right.
And then same thing with Haley King. I mean, she finished 3 under. She tied with Cadence. And then Holland stuck around. Valerie Montejano played very hot, very well this weekend. She was on chase card. Kristen, not so hot. She fought back to, but I mean, there's quite a few women that were still in the hunt, like just constantly on chase card, constantly chasing people, and then, but a lot of consistency this weekend.
Right. Yep. Yeah, there was there, and you know, I think we make fun of, especially Hannah and Evelina. We kind of make fun of and poke fun at them a little bit. But the thing is they are probably the 2 best disc golfers in the world. Kristen Tatar, of course. Yeah, I mean, Kristen Latt, of course. But they are probably, if they hit those putts, man, they're better than her.
Sure.
They're better than her. And I think, and especially, Hannah, like, man, if she could pull that putt together. Like, because she has really good distance, pretty darn good accuracy.
Yeah.
Her up game is meh. It's good enough,
good enough.
Good enough. But man, it's the putts, and it's the same thing with Evelina. Like, well, and can't take anything away from her. Like, she won. That's awesome. Like, she killed it.
It's her 4th major.
Yeah, and she's good. She's really good. But man, get those putts together, and she could have 10 majors.
Right.
Like, it's just.
I mean, I think we mentioned it last week. Kristen's still dealing with her toe injury. So, I mean, maybe the walking of like some of these longer courses kind of played a little bit into that. I mean, she did make a slight comeback.
Yeah.
But
and turf toe is no joke, man.
No, it's not.
I remember the first time I ever heard of turf toe, and did we mention this the last time about Barry Sanders? Like back in the day with
maybe.
Barry Sanders.
I know Sterling Sharp for sure had it.
Yeah, Sterling
and
Sharp
it kept
as well.
him from practicing, and then he eventually had to retire because of it.
Right. Yeah. And we heard it in football when they first started going to synthetic turfs and fields. And this was what, mid 90s, maybe late 90s is when this was happening.
Yeah.
And we were like, I remember hearing it being like, what a joke! Like, come on, like turf toe, It's a big deal, man. Like, that stuff hurts.
I remember, too, in college, I kind of had something similar, and they gave me special insoles that had like a plate on the bottom of it, like a metal plate.
Oh, really? Okay.
That would help keep your toes from flexing a certain way. Unfortunately, I mean, they did work pretty well. Unfortunately, they ate away at my cleats because they would constantly be going back and forth, and the metal would actually rip through the bottom of my cleat. And I was like, oh, that's such a bummer. But
and that sucks too, yeah.
Yeah, but it did help. I mean, I did notice it helped.
Yeah. It didn't help with your volleyball experience, though, where your toes folded under your foot.
I can't do anything about that. I refuse. I'm not wearing shoes in the sand, man. I'm not.
You could just wear the soles. Like, just tape the soles to your feet. All right. Congratulations, Evelina Salonen. I mean, that's fantastic. Number 4. Okay, let's talk about the dildo in the room. I mean, the trophy. Freaking A.
Yeah.
The trophy. So, this is supposed to represent a lighthouse.
Yes.
It is. It's a wonderful sculpture. It's a very unique.
Well, yeah. I mean, Wisconsin in general has a lot of lighthouses.
A lot of lighthouses.
And I'm sure they're trying to model it after the lighthouse hole.
And Manitowoc has a lot of great lighthouses. And Silver Creek is in Manitowoc. They have the lighthouse hole. I get it. I get where they're coming from. But I feel like that's a big swing and a miss, man. Oh, like a women's major, and you give a very phallic trophy, like an amazingly phallic trophy.
Yeah, right.
Like not like, and I've been kind of indecent and rude by saying what I said about like sex toys but man, it is phallic as phallic can be.
I know, but she's not the only one. Every division the winner got one. I mean, not necessarily like the ceramic,
Right.
molded one, but something that represents a lighthouse. And I was like, yeah, this is, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful piece of art. Like I'm not taking away from the artist.
No, right.
I'm not taking away from the trophy, but I am bringing light. Yeah, see what I did there.
Right.
I am bringing light to the fact that it is amazingly phallic, and you would think, like, if it was a mixed tournament, maybe not as much attention as it's getting because it was an all women's tournament.
Very much so.
So we know the disc golf guru in that area. It's not intended that way by any means at all. Like that is for sure not. It was not intentional. It just was one of those things where he probably commissioned him. The artist gave him to him, and he's like, "Uh-oh." Now I'm speaking for him, but he's probably like, "Oops," or maybe he didn't even notice it. It was just like, "Man, these are beautiful lighthouses. Check this out."
Right. I'm curious. I want to know what the artist thought when he first made it, and throws it in the kiln or whatever, and it comes out, and he's just like.
Yeah, exactly.
Or how many?
He's like, "Hey, Bill, come look at this."
Or how many iterations or drawings or whatever he came up with was it before they landed on that one? And he's like, "Oh yeah, this one's good.
That's the one.
That's the one."
I'm just glad they didn't do rocks at the base like around most. That would have been really.
Oh man. Well, and so there's kind of little cutouts in it and stuff. And I thought, it's probably meant to go over a candle, right? So it illuminates the room or whatever.
Yeah. And it was, like I said, you put it anywhere else on a mantle, anywhere. And I don't know if it has, let's be real, like lighthouses are phallic, right?
Sure.
But you put it on a mantle and you're like, "Oh, that's cool. What is it? Oh, it's a lighthouse. That's neat." You put it in the hands of a woman and it looks like, especially the very
tip
perfect
top.
Well, the very perfectly captured and timed photo of Evelina holding it with this giant smile on her face, like just laughing like crazy. And holding it kind of down in a way like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe,"
Yeah.
And it's not like, "Ooh, I can't wait." No, it's like, "I can't believe this is what I have as a trophy." Like,
sure.
That's what it looks like. So I think it's just so funny that this is like going through the disc golf world.
Well, but so second place, third place, I saw Cadence. She was holding the second place trophy, and it's this, a cutout, of a tree, like and it's got the stamp, the logo of the U.S. Women's.
Yeah,
that's nice. I feel like maybe they could have done that, put the trophy on top as like a holder or something to not make it look so.
Yeah, no,
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything inscribed on it. It's just if it says 2025 U.S. Women's Champion or.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's something there.
I wasn't paying too much attention trying.
I did. I didn't zoom in on anything. I'm sure there is, but it is just unfortunately. And this is not just you guys have a dirty mind. No, this is what it is. Like, just go look up Evelina Salonen and the USWDGC, and look at the picture of the winner holding the trophy.
So funny enough, the DGPT, if you scroll all the way to their post with her winning, she has her hands up, but the trophy is cut out. If you scroll all the way to the end,
really?
like there's an interview with Terry and she's holding it, but and then they have another one, but it does say FPO first place, and it's kind of bluish, and there is a base like oh my gosh.
All you got to do is scroll through your feed if you're a disc golfer, and you will find many memes.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, the way they're being presented is hilarious. Let us present you, and then ... this trophy.
Like on a platter. Like this.
See, I guess the problem is like, why is there a tip? Like, why is there a point to the very top of it?
Well, because that's supposed to be where the light is. That
Yeah.
and everything. But the shape of that alone is what throws everything off.
Exactly.
If it was, I don't know. I don't know how you could fix it.
Well, hey, publicity. Any publicity is good publicity, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
that's what you're getting right now. So USWDG, and good job. They do have it cut out.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. So you. Well,
but imagine going. We were talking before. Imagine going through customs, or getting your suitcase X-rayed, brought through, and they're like, man, we need to open this.
Have you ever seen those when like bridal parties go on a trip or something like that,
Yeah,
and then they fill the bride's bag with
whatever,
a bunch of phallic members? That's kind of what it would be.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm gonna have to take a little peek at this, and she's like, "No, please don't.
Yeah.
It's a trophy, I swear."
Oh my gosh!
All right, I'm done.
Okay,
I've had my fun. My cheeks hurt, like my face cheeks.
yeah.
All right. You want to talk about Majestic?
Yeah, I mean, the Majestic went on. It was a Go
happened.
Throw tour event in Minnesota. I mean, it's a very well-known A-tier event in Minnesota, and there's a lot of people from the Midwest, this area, that go to it. Austin Turner ended up taking it down. I didn't watch any of it because I was mainly focusing on the USW, the women's event. I'm pretty sure Go Throw and Ace Run have, obviously they have coverage of it. I might end up sneaking a peek at it here in the next couple of days or whatever. But yeah, Austin Turner ended up winning. Hold on a second, because my computer burned out on me. And then he beat Joe Revere, who... Colorado native. They tied at 36 under. I don't see anything about going to, but they don't have anything about a playoff at all. That's interesting. Okay. Luke Taylor. Oh, Jaden Rye, Evan Smith, Kale, Matteo, Noah Meinsma, Greg Barsby, Presnell. That's the top 10. At the old Majestic in Minnesota. That's all I really know about it. And then I was just gonna say, shout out to Jen Allen. She won the FP40.
I was just gonna say that
in a come from behind fashion as well. She went to a 2-hole playoff with Holly Finley, who at one point lived in Wisconsin for a little while, and
where is she at now?
I think North Carolina.
Okay,
I'm not sure exactly, but yeah, she lived down near the Madison area for a number of years. Actually, she qualified for the Wisconsin Tour final that was going to be at the golf course. And then she was on for that, but she ended up going to play a different tournament because she doesn't like playing golf courses.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
So that was part of it. But yeah, Jen Allen, her third United States Disc Golf Women's Championship and 5th overall major.
Nice.
So yeah, so they ended up playing 18. They both birdied 18 first time, and then they went back, played it again, and Jen birdied and Holly parred. So that's how it ended. And Holly did have the lead all three. I think she was one down. Jen was +2. Forgot how it went. And then Jen was 3 down today. Holly ended up being +3. So that's how. Yeah.
Nice. So, and another thing, here is all-time FPO top earners. There's a little mix-up at the top of the board there.
Really?
Katrina Allen has been bumped from the number 2 spot by
Kristen
Tatar or Kristen Latt.
Ooh.
So Paige Pierce is still sitting at number 1. They are. Go ahead.
Oh, I think I saw 80,000. Is that roughly the gap between Kristen and Paige?
No, only 20. That's not 30.
Really?
So 397, 427.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow.
427,000 for Paige Pierce, and then Kristen Latt is
Where did I
397,000.
get 80,000 from? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're coming along.
I mean, a couple more tournaments and Kristen's going to have it.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, Paige Pierce is getting money, but hundreds not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. And then she signed the post of the 18th hole, Evelina Salonen, by the way.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, I just saw
I've never seen that before. I don't know if I've ever
haven't
seen
either.
anybody do that. So that basket's going to be gone. It's almost like, yoink, cut that lock. So, all right. Well, anything random to talk about left?
anything random to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't really. Not too much random stuff is happening.
No.
No. It's been a pretty boring week.
How about what's the best way? So coaches. This is going to be a random coaches conversation.
Okay.
How do you have conversations with coaches? Or let's say that you coach with somebody that can't remove themselves from the game. And they want to be the player, not the coach.
Want to be the player, not the coach.
You know what I mean? So you got the people that are like, so you'll see it in football or you'll see it in baseball or whatever, where you got the younger coach that still isn't quite done playing and is coaching.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know what you're talking about very well right now.
Where the person isn't, he's still a player.
Yeah.
Or she is still a player. Like where they haven't removed themselves away from the team enough to be a true effective coach. They got all the smarts in the world about the game.
Sure.
But they're still too close to the game in order to be an effective coach. So they're the ones that are in there like, all right, we can do this. Let's go. All right, kid. And they're not helping to fix the errors that are happening in the players. How do you think is the best way to, let's say it's a colleague, to have a conversation with somebody like that?
Oh, man.
Because they definitely got a passion for the game.
Right.
But how do you break their heart and say, like, you're not playing anymore? This is not a team you play for. This is a team you coach.
Yeah. It's interesting because, okay, so I'm going to use this situation right now. In soccer for summer, we have two high school guys that play soccer currently coaching the summer team because they're trying to do it for credit.
Right.
Or like their
Service hours.
Service hours, yeah. So when I'm reffing games, I see them coaching. One of them has a little more tactical knowledge. The other one's more of that cheerleader kind of rah-rah. We can do this, like hyping people up.
Yeah.
So the other day when I was reffing, one of the more tactical one was gone, and on the sideline I could kind of see the other coach. I mean, he was there making lineups, but he was asking players, I mean, what do you think we can fix? Like, I do that sometimes, right? If I go coach, I'll be like, okay, what do you think this, what can we work on? What can we do this way? And then, people are like, okay, we need to do this. And you're like, okay, how can we effectively do that? And then...
But is that question, as you as a coach, is that... So, in my mind, I'll respond after. Is that question as a coach, do you already have the answer? You're just seeing if they notice it? Okay, because that's the way that I would do it, too. I'd be like, all right, what went right today? What went wrong?
Right. And then you want them to identify what they think is right and wrong, so they recognize that, hey, if we're not doing this, we need to do that, and
Yes.
maybe we can fix this ourselves.
Yep.
The coach shouldn't have to. The coach can provide answers, but I think players should seek answers out on their own or hold people accountable. Have these conversations, because there's a lot of times, especially in sports, where you have to talk with each other that you don't, and effective communication is the only way that you can get the point across.
Yep.
And I think that when players don't do that, you're not going to get the answers.
Yep.
Now, what you were talking about before, though, is this coach that is there that's not effectively coaching, is more like a player. I have seen, player coaches that are there that kind of try to take responsibility for the team and, hey guys, we need to do this. But the problem is if you act too much like a player, people are going to treat you like a player. They're not going to treat you like a coach. Like, you have no authority over them. And I think that's hard too when there's a smaller age gap. You see a lot of younger coaches now coming into the NFL, coming to things, and players think, oh, I can be buddies with this coach, or I can make friends with them. They'll be on my side, this, that. Well, you have to set a boundary.
Right.
You have to establish that player coach connection, disconnection. You can't totally be connected to players, but you have to disconnect from them and not, you want to be there to listen to them, but you also want to have that sternness, the authority over them.
Well, and a knowledge base that is above them, because you can, as a coach, your job is to elevate yourself above the field, like above, and by the field I mean the play. You're not supposed to be in the play with them. You're not supposed to be you can be a cheerleader, that's completely fine, but a cheerleader is not all you should be. You have to be the enforcer, you have to be the corrector, you have to be the one that points out the issues, but you have to be a coach. You actually have to do the hard thing and be like, man, that wasn't good. Here's how we can improve. Right? Yeah. Not always like, you'll get it. It's okay. You're all right. And I think that's where young players get stuck, or young coaches get stuck as players, because they want to be the positive, like, we'll get through this. It's okay. Blah, blah, blah. Like, no. It sucks. You can't make those errors, and this is how you can correct them next time. Now let's get out there and attack. Sure. And I think that's where a lot of young coaches can get mixed up. And I was one of those coaches too when I first started coaching football. I wanted to be in there lifting the weights with them. I wanted to be doing that stuff where I couldn't step back and actually remove myself so I could elevate my position, so I could see the things that we could work on as a team. You can't do it if you're in the fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on the field, in the scrum, in the whatever it is, like, you can't effectively coach. You have to be able to remove yourself and elevate yourself so that you can see what's happening as a team, not only individuals, but also as a team. And there's dynamics too that are crazy. We won't get into the personality dynamics you got to deal with, but just as a play. And I mention it because there's been two instances where amazing players coach. Either they're retired or they're currently playing. And like you said, they're either currently playing or they've just recently stopped playing. And there's been two instances where I'm just watching them going, you are an amazing player. You're just not a good coach yet. Yet. But how do you approach that? And if I was a colleague, it'd be very easy. But as a parent, I'm like, how do I approach this without being that parent? You know what I mean? Like, and that's me. I'm always that guy that wants to counsel, wants to coach, I'm that guy. But how do I do that without being that parent? You know what I mean? So, and for any coaches out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's those parents, and you're just like, oh man, I don't want to be that parent. So
the same thing, sitting on the sidelines watching kids. It's like, it sounds like you want to get back in coaching. I was like, well, if I didn't have to do all these other things, I would consider getting back into doing that. And I got a call the other day asking, because I helped coach 7th and 8th grade soccer last year, and they need a 5th and 6th grade coach. I was like, I can maybe do part-time. I can't do full-time. I want to be able to get to soccer games for high school to watch. Right. Yeah. I have stuff I want to do outside now, because I want to be able to watch them and do all that. And I'm like, I can't commit full-time. No. So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to, but
yeah. But it hurts though, doesn't it? Like when you get invited or people trust you enough to take on these teams, and you just can't. Because I know you know me, like how we do things, and it's one of those like, man, if I can't give 100%, like I can't be there. I can be there, but I can't take the lead. Like that's just not responsible of me, because if I do it, I'm going to miss everything else when it comes to that season, because that's going to be my focus. Like that's going to be my number one thing. And it's hard because, you do have people, and only so many times they're going to ask and you say no. Like they're going to stop asking at one point or another.
Sure.
And that's unfortunate. But I don't know. You and I have had a lot of coach conversations on the side. But anyways, I was just curious about that. So I don't know if that really has a lot to do with disc golf, because I don't know if there's really coaches in disc golf. But maybe that's the perpetual coach that is in disc golf now. They're players that want to show you how to play and want to play with you. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, you look at, take Robbie C. He's out there, making content, coaching people, but he himself is also a player, know, and he's just kind of taking things from what he has learned along the way. He's taking things from, people sending him forum reviews. I mean, he's probably watched how many forum reviews. Same thing with Overthrow. Overthrows people, they're players.
He's probably one of the better coaches I've seen, though.
Okay.
Overthrow, I think. Who's the main guy in Overthrow?
Well, it's Josh. And I forgot who the other... what the other guy's name is. Actually, there's 3 of them, because there's another guy now that they hired to do forum reviews as well. A third guy, you don't see him on video, but they hired somebody else to come in and help do forum reviews, because there's like different Patreon tiers that you can get with certain coaches and everything. But yeah, they're incredibly helpful as well, as far as coaching and doing that kind of stuff. And I think Foundation, they're like, you can pay whatever to have us look at stuff and whatever, putting tips, all that. So I know it's in a European team. I think Team Estonia. They have like specific disc golf coaches, not that are no longer like players. They're specific disc golf coaches that are actually working with their teams.
Right.
And then I think also going out and helping with people in their area as well. So I don't know. I think it'd be great if you got some. I mean, there's always clinics.
Right.
There's always those things. Yeah. But I think once some of these people get off tour, if they could just be a dedicated coach, it'd be great.
Yeah. Because how does that look for disc golf? So if disc golf had a dedicated coach, so let's say like Eric McCabe, he's at Emporia State.
Right.
He's a coach for him. What does that look like? We're going to give you drills. We're going to tell you to go through certain things. He's mentioned a little bit here and there. But is it also field of play decisions too? So like, okay, I'm out here. I have a left or right gap. Like, is there a point where a disc golf coach could be valuable with walking them through game time situations? You know what I mean? So in football, we had gaps, like gap assignments.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're going to hit the 1, 2, or 3, or A, B, or C, whatever gap assignment you use for running. And a running back would hit that. But there was always what's called a collapse defense. So if the A gap collapses, what are we doing? We're bumping or if the 1 gap closes, are we bumping to the 2 gap? Or are we going to bump to the 3 gap? Like, where are we going from there? And you would have those bounce points. So with disc golf, if you're out in the field and you're here and you say and we'll say gaps again. So you're kind of squared up on a tree. Like, what are the 2 gaps you want to do? And for the throw that you want to do, and do they walk them through those game time scenarios? Like, okay, so if you throw the forehand on this line, the hill you're going into, you're going to skip away. If you throw the backhand, you're going to have to put it on a little bit. Is that something that would be beneficial to walk people through that? Because I know sometimes when I'm watching videos, I hear somebody will say like, oh yeah, and they hit that hill and that hill just takes forehands away, but a backhand will sit right on it or something like that.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know what? I never even think about stuff like that. I just go whatever's the most comfortable, and that's how I get the disc there.
Yeah. Well, because, okay, take for instance, you're going to, a tournament or a course you never played. And I'm going to use like the college situation. So let's say Eric's out with the team. Do you as a team, I don't know, maybe this is a really good question to ask him. As a team, if you get as a practice round, do you walk through as a team and just go hole by hole? You're like, okay, this is the safe landing zone. This is this, I don't know. But you also have to know the tendencies of the people on the team and be like, okay, so-and-so, this is a safe landing zone for you. Someone else, this is how you do it. Like that's really tough, especially if you're only one coach. If you have multiple coaches, you can, get different people like split up, go do whatever.
Righties, forehand, backhand.
Yeah, right. So
that's, because I feel like, you Blue Angel the thing, like where everybody visualizes it and runs through it and does all that stuff. Like that'd be cool. A cool running set. I like that better. Yeah. And for you old people, you'll understand what that means. But because I think a lot of that stuff would help tremendously, because I know when I go play tournaments, I love to at least walk through the course, just like a crazy round. Like I don't care what shots I throw or anything, just seeing the course. And not only seeing the course one way, but just turning around every once in a while and being like, oh, there's that gap or that, like looking at the course in a whole is a good idea.
Because Eric always talks about walking the course backwards, right?
He does really? Okay.
You start from the basket and you walk to the tee pad from every hole. That way, like because you're always going to see the gaps from the tee pad because you're most familiar from playing with it. Yep. But if you take it from the back, you can be like, oh, okay, there's an opening here that I might not see from the tee pad. Yeah. There's a landing zone here that's a little different. That way you're getting a full view rather than like, oh man, I'm just going down this fairway. It's tight. But then all of a sudden you get to this area and you're like, I had no idea it opened up, or, I had no idea there's water or, something on whatever side.
And that's something to consider, because that's something I've noticed that when I walk courses, as I'm practicing them, I will look like behind it, like, okay, so the right gap is like the logical gap. It has the perfect course to go through it. But man, you hit this left gap and the margin for error is so much bigger. Like, it's okay to hit this left gap because your disc can be 30 feet off and still get to the basket. Whereas you go to the right gap, it fits your form a little better, but you got 15 feet of, of highway to get there rather than that 30-foot gap,
Well, can you, so just thinking about Bailey's Harbor, Devil's
Anus,
Yeah. I mean, that hole, if you look at it, it dog legs left, right? You go straight but you really have no idea how hard it goes left until you get to that point. You're like, oh man, there's all these trees in the way and everything. Yeah. So if you walk it backwards, you can see, there's a clear landing zone, but then there's trees, in front of the basket and everything. And then you can kind of get in.
And if you're going, because from the tee pad, you look at it and be like, okay, I need to get past that tree in the center of the fairway, which we know that tree in the center of the fairway. But in reality, you actually want to be in front of that tree in the center of the fairway to make it to the basket if you're going for the pin.
Right.
You want something to cut hard and skip next to that. If you go long of that tree and skip, you're not getting to the basket. You're going to get caught up in all that crap in the long, But that's that stuff like walking it. So that would be a really valuable thing for the caddy book that a coach would put together, right?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, don't go long on this hole because of, like a traditional tournament caddy book just says, hey, this is it. Here's the OBs.
Yeah, right.
Here's your hole. But you do a coach's caddy book, like that would be like, watch out for the left. It's crap in there. If you get in there, you're just pitching out. There's no fighting out of there. Or you go long, you're in the water, or whatever it is. Like error short.
Well, and then Yuli has talked about Brad, his longtime caddy, and he kind of considers him almost to be a coach in some ways, to helping talk him through things, and you have that relationship. But I'm thinking about this past weekend, and I don't know who from this area caddied for anybody or has played the course enough to be talk to them about this what that situation's like. You get a fair amount of time on courses and you can kind of talk people through it, but to go through to be able to start with somebody during a practice round and walk with them, before you actually caddy for them. And we can be like, okay, here's what we're throwing here. Here's what you're doing here. This is that. Yep. And just build that relationship and then go out on the course and be like, okay, we didn't throw our best shot here. Right. So maybe we take this disc out from here, do that. I mean, you do that anyway, but to be able to do that before you're actually on the course or know the bag well.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Like you don't need a wide rim here. You need because you don't want to skip left or whatever it is. You know, when you compare it to other sports, like basketball coaches are not the best basketball players. You know,
right.
They're far inferior to the players that they're coaching. But for some reason, disc golf has this like, I'm not taking advice from somebody that can't play as well as I can.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that, I mean, it's very true because you think about even some of the pros, they won't let people on their bags because they don't want people talking to their game because they can play better than these people, you know? Man, you're missing a lot because if that person is the local and knows, like, go ahead and hit that gap high because once you're past it, man, there's nothing there.
Right.
You'll land right next to the basket or, like, make sure you don't hit that gap because, like, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, very, very unlikely. You know, and they can give you those little secrets. Now, they can't throw as hard as you. They can't putt as well as you. They can't, but they know the course a lot better than you do. You know, so it's, yeah, that's interesting. So I think disc golf has some maturing to go when it comes to coaches, right?
Yeah.
Or caddies, for that matter.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Thought-provoking or inspirational to leave us on?
Always wear sunscreen.
Oh, yeah. You burned yourself recently?
No, but Alyssa got pretty burnt today because it was really hot again today.
So hot.
My daughter, she's got this big oval, red oval on her back. She went out yesterday without sunscreen. So, yeah, sunscreen's important.
Sandy and the kids went to the beach Thursday. Was it Thursday? No, Wednesday. And her whatever bathing suit she had on has like a cross back. So she has like 4 diamonds that are just beet red, like burnt to a crisp.
Oh,
and then
man.
Malachi is beautiful everywhere except for the top of his shoulders. For some reason, he didn't get it well on the top of his shoulders. So both of them are burnt. But I was good. I'm not too bad at all. So I'm actually tanning pretty well. So, all right. Good point. So SPS 50, 80, or are we just like
Maybe
a
we want
30
to be
guy?
like Casper.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, just enough to get a glow.
That is something that's what I have against sunscreen is that if I'm out there with my shirt off, which people don't want to see, but if I'm out there with my shirt off, I want to get the benefits of the sun. Like,
Yeah, right.
and with slathering myself with sunscreen, like, it like takes it away. Like, so I'm like, do we have an SPF 15? I'll wear that, you know,
Yeah.
and all the kids and stuff are like 70 and 50. And I'm like, do we have a 15 somewhere? We have a 30. Okay, I'll use that, you know, because like be all hot and sweaty and gross and sand everywhere, but then you don't get a tan. Like, come on.
Right. Exactly.
But you get cancer, so that's good. I don't want to do that. All right. With all that being said, hope you guys have a great day. And congratulations, Evelina. Nope, not going to say.
Trophy.
Oh, I'm not going to. You said it. You said it. And with that, keep it subpar. Deuces in the toilet.